Welcome back to Gears and Glory, everybody. Today we are doing our Silverstone Great British Grand Prix recap. Wow, oh wow, was there a race to be had and a recap to do for it?
Mate.
So much
Just
to
mate,
discuss.
like...
So much so that I think we just bypass practice, get straight into... Quali wasn't even that interesting. Let's just get straight into the race.
It was all dry until Sunday. Like, I was getting concerned with how dry it was in, like, not London, but, like, the UK.
UK, yeah.
Why isn't it raining?
Yeah, so we're skipping practice, we're skipping quali. Maybe I also didn't take notes for it. Who's to say? I guess we'll never know.
What reason?
But let's get started with the race because there is a lot to cover. So the race start, it had been raining, but the actual race start was dry. Yet everybody was starting on inters because the track was still wet. I was watching it and like a dumb I said, but it looks so dry. I'm sure you could put, like a Ferrari strategist, I said, it looks so dry, you could put slicks on.
You jinxed it!
Yeah. You know what?
My first note is everyone's starting.
This is exactly what Martin Brundle and Crofty did. And I said, when the camera panned around to the other side of the track that was still wet, and Martin Brundle and Crofty are like, "Right, but the track's dry. Why aren't they on slicks? Bloody idiots! They're all on inters." And then they really pissed me off. They really pissed me off. Anyway, we'll get to that.
Yeah. Well, all three of us were in the same boat, and honestly, well, on the F1 broadcast, all the broadcasters, all the commentators were on the same boat, because Alex Jakes was like, it could be high risk, high reward, but people could go down the pit lane during formation lap and put on slicks and see if it pays off. Even though it's supposed to rain later, you could use the slicks, and then while everyone is changing from inters to other inters, you could change from your slicks to inters. Well, we can talk about how that went, but to keep things focused on the start of the race, lap 1, yellow flag. Who is it? Liam Lawson. And it is very funny because I believe in the commentary they're like, "Oh my gosh, a V-carb's in the wall." Probably Liam Lawson.
Yes, Crofty's were, "Oh, there's a V-carb in the wall." Wouldn't surprise me if it was Liam Lawson. And I was like, yes, same, but I don't think you can say that.
Yeah. But that incident was so interesting to me because I have talked about it before and I'll talk about it again. And I think Liam Lawson's great. I think he's a good driver. I think he, not to quote the F1 movie, but I think he drives angry very frequently. Like he's always kind of got a chip on his shoulder about it. And I do think that's a good quality to have in an athlete. But I think it can get out of control sometimes because so he's on Esteban Ocon's right, and then to Esteban Ocon's left is Yuki. So Esteban Ocon's in a sandwich here, and he's like, I'm just trying not to crash. I'm trying to finish my race. He has to give Yuki a car's width, and he has to give Liam a car's width. So he's trying to keep Yuki on track and has to turn and ends up with Liam colliding. But then Liam comes on the radio and he says, "Whoever this Haas was next to me drove straight into the side of me." And I immediately followed up in my notes with, "Is turning straight into you in the room with us now?" Because I like it. It's literally just Esteban. And I can't believe in the year of our Lord 2025, I'm defending Esteban Ocon. But he was just driving his race. He was just driving his line.
Genuinely a racing incident. Like, nobody could have done anything in that. Like, no matter
the rules,
like, somebody was going to be like hurt in that incident.
Yeah. Yep. So, well, that began the first of many safety cars. That one was a mere VSC. So no safety car was out on the track. And it only took a handful of laps. So by lap 4, we're back. Immediate second incident. Gabby Bortoletto sends it into the wall. And then he does what the FIA hates probably the most, which is drive a damaged car on the track.
Sorry,
I'm okay.
Can we just talk about Liv in this moment? Because we get this voice note from Liv where she is talking about something else that I think she was talking about the commentary for Lawson, where Crofty and Brundle were like calling
about
Liam.
F2.
Oh yeah, you were talking about F2, and then all
I was talking about F2 with
Gabby.
And then I go, oh no, he's okay, because he says he's okay. He's still driving. I thought he must be. And then the second voice note is, oh, Gabby stopped again.
Yeah, it was tough. Because during the commentary was also saying like, no, he can't. They're not gonna like that. The FIA is not gonna like that. So they must have told him on the radio like, brother, you can't drive that thing back right now. It like pieces were like flying off, and yeah, it's just like the part of the wing, like the side panel of the wing, like snapped off, which like sure is easy for a marshal to go and get, but also requires a safety car. So he ends up pulling over, and it's just another VSC, so it's not a full safety car yet. The track is still relatively dry. It's still drying because it has not started to rain yet. Mm-hmm. But yeah, anything else to add? Because there's a handful of other things that happen before the rain hits. Which
the
is when
funniest thing that I think happened in that first portion, I didn't even notice it. My mum pointed it out the next day when I was like rewatching it with her. Mm. Marshals, when they're cleaning up like debris, they're not meant to like give like any pieces of the car to fans or like anything like that. Like fans aren't allowed to get it unless they have to do a track walk on the Sunday night or the Monday and they find it. And the camera for the broadcast perfectly caught Marshals during Liam Lawson's incident picking up debris and chucking it into the crowd. And I was like, caught out. And I was like, why couldn't they do that when George Russell like crashed into like the wall I was at? They were like, get away from it. I'm like, brother, I have glass in my eye from this. Like, some compensation would be nice. Obviously, I'm joking. But that was genuinely the funniest thing ever.
Yeah. Yeah, it was crazy. They were just like grab and chuck. Like I think part of it is just like trying to get it out and like, oh no, if it lands in someone's lap, oops.
Yeah.
So the last couple of bits and pieces before the rain hit, which happened at lap 11, were there were team orders at Mercedes because George was on slicks. They put him on hards, which I really didn't think was a good decision. What do I know? But also the mediums really seem to be doing a lot better. And at one point, Lance was also on softs, and he was like making super moves. So as a Lance truther, I was very much vindicated. But he made really solid headway. They had team orders to get George ahead of Kimi on his slicks. During lap 8, Oscar made his pass on Max and had it stick. Mm-hmm. And then Charles also got to pass Kimi, who was on inters while he was on his mediums. So it was beginning to seem like perhaps the gamble of going down the pit lane during formation lap for slicks could pay off. Yeah. We'll find out that it doesn't.
Twist.
And I was sad. But yeah, we hit lap 11 and the rain comes down. It was scary. So then everyone on slicks has to get on their inters, while people on existing inters can kind of still, they have enough traction still and the groove still to get away with it. So a bunch of people have to pit. Max and Lando start to battle, and this was something really interesting that I learned and like through the race that made a lot of sense to me, that because it was dry, Max was doing a really, really good job with the high downforce configuration. But because you've got all of that weight essentially on these tires, they degrade so much faster, which like makes all the sense in the world. But until they said it, and until it was the inters where it mattered more, instead of just like regular tire deg, I was like, oh, like I understand.
Yeah.
It's clicking. So
I love it so much when you're like, light bulb's gone off. You're like, that actually makes complete sense. Like, but it's until it actually like points out and you're like, oh my god, yes. I love it.
Because they were on tires the same age, and Lando's were better because of the setup of the car. Yeah. Now, do I understand how they make it high downforce? Absolutely not.
They changed the wings.
But I learned something else.
Changed the angle of the wings, I think.
Yeah, I think so. It's something about the career.
We're gonna have to do another Let's Teach Soph something new for the summer break. We'll go over Aero, maybe.
We'll go over drag and downforce.
Yeah.
With your F1 bestie.
With your F1 bestie.
Oh, this was when we had the double stack McLaren pit, which was kind of stressful and a little crazy. There was a 5-second stop for Lando, I think. So Max, he got passed by Lando with bad tires. Lando has a bad stop. Max has a better one. This is where he pulls out ahead of in front of him, which goes to show like it can be about the drivers, but at the end of the day, it's still a team sport. Yeah. So then by lap 13, it's absolutely pouring, and the McLaren radio clip they showed is just like, yeah, and it's going to get worse. It was kind of surprising that they drove the whole race straight through, because there were pieces like, we'll get to some of the crashes later.
Yeah.
But, like, it felt like maybe they should have, like, maybe red flagged it. Or, like, at least had a safety car out for a long time. But then, like, why are you racing if the safety car is going to have to be out for 3/4 of the race? You know what I mean?
And I understand having the safety car out and having the drivers still on the track, because then they're actually clearing the water. It's not going to puddle on the racing line. I understand that. But what would have happened if you had a red flagged it for, like, 15 minutes? You know, and sent them out after the rain had eased up a bit on full wet, get the track clear. Like, I actually also don't know why no team went for full wets. Like, everyone stuck to the inters.
I don't know if it was, like, wet enough for wets, but also, like we say every episode, we're not engineers, so I don't really know, like, what qualifies enough for wets opposed to inters.
And I feel like a lot of people say that the line between full wets and a red flag is very thin. So which is why you don't often see them. I think either y'all told me that, or like I read it somewhere. Now it's in my brain. So sorry for not citing my sources, but
someone said this.
Someone once said this to me, and now it's a part of me.
I want to say, like, part of it's because, like, they could stay on inters because, like, once the rain did ease off, like, there was dry lines, and as long as you stick those 2 lines, you're fine.
But then it's like, what are we doing? You can pass on this track. Like, then we're not racing.
Exactly.
Then it's
So it starts pouring. Lap 14, we get the safety car because of the rain. But at this point, Lance was in 4th.
So scary.
He stayed in 4th for a long time.
And everyone was like, are we going to see, like, a podium?
Yeah. And then he was in 3rd for a little bit after someone pitted, I think. It was very momentary, because I think he pitted not long after that. Yeah. And then we got...
But, like, I need everybody who hates on Lance to, like, actually look at this. Like, no, he's not the best driver. I know that. I'm not saying he's the best driver. I'm not saying he's going to be the next champion. Am I saying he's the worst? I'm not saying that either. I'm saying he's pretty good. Could any of the rookies have done that? He was higher than Alonso for a while. Like, performing better than Alonso. He drove himself to that point. Like, I'm not saying he's the best driver. I'm just also not saying that he's the worst.
Yeah. And you know what?
I don't think... Yeah.
He regularly outperforms Alonso. Regularly.
This season,
Alonso's had, like, what, 3 DNFs, 4 DNFs? He didn't have points. He wasn't even in the championship standings until, like, the 4th race because he hadn't...
It was a long time. Yeah, so I just need to say that. I need baked beans to know that. Honestly.
Oh, mate!
Baked beans haunts me.
That's a throw.
You need to start charging.
Yeah. But let's see what else happened. Charles got the lawnmower out for a while. Yeah. He was fully in the grass for like a long time. I was like, this is embarrassing.
Yeah. Because it just panned across to him and he's just bumping over the grass. And I was like, oh.
It did not look
what happened here? And then he just went through the track and then the grass on the other side.
He
almost took out Carlos as well.
Yeah. We'll get to that. Because there's like a bunch of like overtakes that happen towards like the end once the rain starts to let up.
This is such a niche reference, but there's this very old supercars race, Shane Van Gisbergen, the icon he is. And it wasn't raining, otherwise he wouldn't have needed to do this. But all I could think of when Charles was across the grass was Shane Van Gisbergen's lawn mowing services. he was trying to cool his tires down, and the grass was wet, but the track wasn't wet enough, so he just went through the grass a little bit to cool his tires down before getting back on track. And he ended up like he won or something stupid. It was a
Oh my
stupid
god,
result.
that's hilarious.
And all I could just think of Gisbergen's lawn mowing services.
Speaking of him, have you seen the compilation of the commentators trying to say Shane Van Gisbergen's name really fast? Shane Van Gisbergen, Van.
I'm so sorry, but good lord, these American commentators.
You have to send them to me.
Shane Van Gisbergen burger.
Okay, fine. While we're talking about my man for a split second, he is the second driver in NASCAR history to compete at the same race weekend at a track in 2 different series and get pole position and win for both categories.
Wow.
Of Chicago, and I don't want to hear anyone say otherwise. America was not ready for Shane, and I was not ready to lose Shane, even though I knew it was going to happen.
So I'll send you the compilation that I saw of people attempting to say his name very fast.
It sounds hilarious. But yeah, so we got some more lawn mowing. And then literally I got like lap by lap updates here. Then we get arguably the most devastating moment of the race, and this is why I feel like they should have red flagged it, is because the visibility was 0. And I have some commentary right after this that like Julian Palmer, Alex Jakes, and DC were talking about in the F1 TV broadcast, but Isaac ends up in the wall, and then they cut to like what actually happened, and he essentially rear-ended Kimi because there was absolutely 100% no visibility. You could not see the lights.
Till he literally hit him.
Yeah. And you know what the worst yet funniest thing is? I don't know if you were even like paying attention at this point, Soph, but in the group chat, Britt and I were literally talking about whether like a safety car was enough or whether it needed to be red flagged because of the visibility. And we'll sort of like, but there's no visibility. Next minute, up his ass, and we'll like point proof.
Literally, I took a couple videos from like I think like lap 16 to lap 18 because the visibility was so low that in the videos that I took, I posted it on Instagram, but they were coming down the straight, and I think you could see like the Ferrari and someone else, but then all of a sudden for a split second you see like Pierre in the middle, and he just like pops in and out because you can't see him because the Ferrari's
scary. No, that's scary.
And then Pierre was like in the middle, and you couldn't see him until he like kind of came out to the edge of the track to take the racing line.
The spray
like pops in, and I was like,
spray and the rain.
And then the second after that, like the second clip they show after that, where I was like, oh my god, you could not see Pierre at all. It was Isaac smashing Kimi. And I was like, because if you can't see them on the broadcast, if we can't see them on the broadcast because the spray is that thick, I cannot imagine driving in that.
Yeah.
No, because then you've also got like the halo is so necessary, but you still have got it right down the middle. So that's what they were saying. Julian Palmer was saying when you're driving in that, it's like having a blindfold on. How on earth am I even going to do anything, essentially? Because Julian was saying it's like when you have those challenges where they like blindfold the drivers and ask them to like draw one of the tracks. He's like, it feels like that. So
of muscle memory.
And that's the thing, like there's so many fans on like social media you see like, oh, why is it red flagged or whatever. Imagine you're driving on the freeway and it's
scary.
This time I'm doing
windscreen wipers.
I can't see. Yeah, literally. I've got windscreen wipers and I can't see. So how the fuck are these guys driving at like 300
lights? No windscreen wipers.
Like, I don't know. I don't know how they're
thinking about like they must get like really wet in there.
Yeah.
Like they must get like really like just like fully coated.
Yeah.
Must be the water.
Must be the water.
Well, because like also, how do they not end up sitting in a pool of water? Because, like, is there drainage to let rain out?
I think
interesting.
I feel like because like if the water pools, it will make it.
That's true, heavier.
But Alonso has said before that he's like sitting in a pool of, and then Charles.
The seat itself must be because that's like formed to the driver.
Yeah.
And then I wonder
maybe they like can have like drainage holes.
Like, are they going so fast that rain can't pool as bad as we think it might? Like, obviously they get some because they had. I'm sitting in water, but like,
I think that there would be drainage holes like under the floor, like under their feet,
under the butt.
In the survival cell. I think there would be some holes.
Surely.
Interesting. I'd be curious to speak to if any engineers or like people who like are the ones who create the seats, because I watched a How It's Made about that. Ever wants to talk to us? Just let us know.
We need to try and get that ex-Red Bull mechanic. What's his name?
Callum?
Yeah, Callum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can get him on, because I feel like he's got some insane insight.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
So if we need to talk about your next point in the notes, which is Toto and his Peaky Blinders hat.
So fun.
Where are you?
What is this hat? When they showed this, when Mercedes showed this with George wearing it on the Instagram, I lost it. But never in a million years did I expect Toto to be wearing the hat.
No. I expect that behavior from George.
Yep.
But Toto, like, what?
I don't know that I like this. It's Adidas. It's an Adidas hat, isn't it?
I don't care who made the hat. I don't care if he's paid to wear that. What?
It's weird. I'm sorry. It looks weird. I don't like it.
You're gonna use Adidas, because if you're making good old Toto look ugly, I don't want to be part of your business. Hello? Insane.
Yeah. Yeah, because they're like talking about the crash, and then they cut to Toto like this, and it's like, oh my god, is everything Toto with a hat on.
So, okay, I'm going to need to question you about your DC note following on from Joel.
Oh my god, I wasn't going to talk about this. I was going to skip it. I was going to leave this out.
We can't.
Okay. All right. I'm not going to say I know what the joke was about, but when Julian Palmer is talking about when they have drivers put a blindfold on and draw tracks, I literally just rewatched it to get the quote. DC says, my goodness, you said draw a track. I was wondering where you were going with that for a moment. And I was like, hello?
Oh,
what just happened to me?
Where did your mind go?
I love that man. Because
I love DC.
Literally.
I love DC. Listen to him. I could listen to him all day. I love having him on the broadcast. His accent is so pretty.
I genuinely consider getting a bloody VPN or whatever it's called, just so I can actually have F1 TV. I also just want to.
It's risky though. Some people have said that it doesn't work, and you have to purchase the subscription before it tells you like if it works. So some people have bought like a VPN and the subscription, and then the VPN hasn't worked, and then they've wasted the money on the subscription. So yeah, just do some research. Check out Reddit. Actually,
the last time I downloaded a VPN, my phone broke, so I'm just.
I'm having crazy deja vu right now, you guys. This is crazy.
Anyway, now we're at the incident, and I want to sit back and listen to you guys talk about this because I cannot get started. You don't get me started.
Capital T, capital I. Wait. Yeah.
What?
Capital T, capital I, the incident.
Oh, the incident. Gotcha.
The incident.
What's he got to do with this?
I also saw a TikTok of somebody filming this incident happening, and it's even more insane from like a ground level point of view. But this is what, the second safety car restart now, and
third.
It's
many like full safety car.
I think it was the second full safety car, maybe.
Yeah,
I don't know. One of them, and Oscar is obviously braking because the safety car is ending, so you need to create a gap to the safety car. But brother decides to put 60 psi on the brakes.
He like comes to a damn near stop.
Like, I just know he was like in the cockpit, like slammed that foot on. I'm kind of sick of everyone trying to get max penalized for overtaking on a safety car, to be honest with you, because this is the second time in like 3 races.
But it's so interesting because it happened with George, right, in Canada. But it's so interesting the way that the commentary shifts depending on the driver, because it's essentially the same incident. This time it was at a corner, But all of the commentary on the F1 TV, at least, was all about like, oh, well, like, you're going to want more room behind the safety car, so of course you're going to brake. Whereas with George, it's like, oh, he's trying to catch Max out. So it's so interesting to see, like, the personas that we give these drivers that may or may not be true. Like, I'm sure, like, maybe George was doing it, maybe not. Maybe because I buy into these personas, I wouldn't put it past him. But also, I don't know if I'd put it past Oscar to also try and get Max penalized, or to just be, like, prepping his own race in his head, how he would like to do it. But
I also, like, the difference is, like, with George's, he literally prefaced before the race that he's going to try his best to catch Max out. So, like, I think he kind of set himself up for that one.
He damned himself with that.
Like, maybe it wasn't intentional. Maybe he genuinely didn't mean to, like, force Max to pass. And, like,
but he just set himself up for that, so he let go.
And then, like, I mean, I agree with the commentators. I didn't really think Oscar was too far in the wrong at first, when it first happened, because I was like, fair, you've got to brake. Like, you know, you did brake a little bit hard. But it was more so post-race, once it came out, that he applied 60 PSI
of,
like, pressure on the brake. That's not normal. He did that on purpose. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
At that point, I was kind of like...
And it was made worse by, like, Max almost immediately spinning out after and, like, losing a ton of places. And, like, it's not British bias because Max is Dutch, but, like, it's still, like, if there hadn't been, like, almost that direct consequence, then maybe they wouldn't have necessarily given him the penalty or as harsh of a penalty because it was kind of crazy. It was the 10 seconds.
Yeah. I also think it makes it so much worse that the, like, impact and the ripple effect was down the field.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Nico Hulkenberg nearly rear-ended, like, hello? I'm having a moment. Rear-ended Pierre Gasly or someone. Like, he had to, like, overtake the safety car as well. Like, multiple cars went past the car in front because of the, like, sudden brake pressure. So,
yeah.
Perhaps if maybe it was just Max affected, it would have just been, like, a slap on the wrist warning. But I think it comes down to how much bloody brake pressure he used and, like, the fact that it affected
the consequences outside of that.
And, like, I love it, and he's usually pretty, like, level-headed, but it really, really irritated me that he just really played the victim and, like, had the narrative of, oh, I guess we can't brake under safety car anymore. You can brake, you don't need to apply 60 PSI.
I think we're seeing Mad Max, but, like, Oscar. Like, Oscar the Grouch type. Like, if he needs to have a name, maybe it's Oscar the Grouch, like, from Sesame Street, but, like, he, and, like, we'll talk, I have notes on this later, too, like, he was big mad. He was upset. And, like, in all honesty, I think it's also gonna, everything comes back to this for Liv, apparently, but I think it's all gonna come back to the fact that we're getting towards the pointy end of the season, and McLaren haven't chosen a number one driver. So he's probably worried for his own championship, which, let's not get into the politics of that. But I think there's so much pressure going on that I kind of don't blame him, but also I thought you're better than the childish, narrative. Britt, I have to ask. I need to know what's going on in that head of yours, at least a little bit.
No, I don't want to talk about it. Okay. I agree. What I'm going to say, I agree with him needing a penalty. I agree with everyone else in the F1 space that has spoken to the media that 10 seconds was too harsh because DC, Max, Zach, like everyone,
they all said extremely harsh.
No one has said that 10 seconds was warranted. And yes, while it was a ripple effect down the field, and Nico said that, if you look at Julian Palmer's F1 TV analysis, which is on the F1 YouTube channel, where he goes through all of the telemetry and tyre and brake telemetry and everything like that, and shows also onboards from further down in the field, you can see that no one took avoiding action. That was, like, when he looks at everyone else's brake pressure, no one did an instant brake pressure application to avoid a collision. So, yes, it was felt down the field, but it wasn't from the telemetry alone, it wasn't a risky situation because it wasn't like everyone applied 60 PSI of brake pressure. So I would recommend looking at that because he does go through and he compares it to George's incident at Canada as well. And he compares the telemetry from a few other similar incidents. But he also explains the risk of the leader applying the brakes that hard, and I think he compares it to a feeder series race in Jeddah, where it was a very similar situation, but like from P14 onwards, everyone crashed because they thought it was going to be a restart, and then the leaders braked, so then everyone sped up, and then the front half of the field, they just smashed into each other. So
yes, in F2 as well, F3 as well in Silverstone last year.
Yeah. So he does a lot of comparison against other similar incidents, and also has a non-bias view on the situation. And I think that provided at least me a bit more insight on all viewpoints, rather than just, oh, he did it to get Max a penalty, or, oh, you know, that was so wrong, or blah, blah, blah. He looks at it from a lot of different points and gives a more holistic overview. So I definitely recommend that. I'll send you guys the link to the video.
Please.
It's only like 10 minutes. But yes, my final stance is, yes, the penalty was deserved. 10 seconds was too harsh. He did seem, I don't even want to say childish. I was disappointed that he asked Lando to swap positions. Because I don't understand why he asked to swap positions. Because he thought that McLaren were on his side of the penalty was undeserved and let them fight it out. But I think that was such a poor ask. But yeah, I think it's just Mad Max 2.0 with his post race interviews.
It was
and you're allowed to be mad. I don't care.
Yeah.
You're allowed to be mad.
It's like we've said before, like they're pushed into these interviews straight out of the car, like the adrenaline must be
immediately.
They don't even get to see what's happened. Like maybe Oscar had have seen what the ripple effect or how it looked when Max, you know, sped past him. Maybe he would have a different opinion. He'd be like, look,
but we don't give them the chance to digest.
He didn't even know that it was 60 PSI that he applied at that point. Like,
yeah,
you know, I think it's a recipe for disaster, putting the drivers straight into the media pen and the interviews on the podium, like near the podium. So, yeah. Anyway, let's move on.
Yeah.
We can move on. Speaking of something I did like, I don't know if you guys had this on the broadcast, but there were a couple of illustrations showing the lines that drivers were taking into the corners. Loved it. More, please. Loved it.
Yeah, that was cool.
I really liked it because it shows like how someone can be on the outside to swap to the inside, like the setup for that. Like I thought it was so interesting. I really, really liked it. So we had that. There was like the whole situation after all of this where everybody went to switch for slicks. Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna kind of breeze through this. There were some slow stops. We get to Charles versus Carlos. Former teammate getting into it. So it's interesting because Charles is making his way up through the field and he passes Alex Albon in the corner where he then passes Charles. Charles cannot pass himself. Carlos. And Carlos gets on the radio immediately. He goes, "That was reckless." And then they like note Charles for it. And I was like, that doesn't make any sense. He just did the same thing to Alex Albon. Like maybe they shouldn't show the radio of Alex being upset and they're showing the radio from Carlos because they used to be teammates. But like, but then like the FIA was like, oh, noted under investigation. I was like, for what? Like Kimi radio from that one race where they tell him he's got a penalty. Like for what?
Yeah. For what?
Yeah. Sorry, I should specify Raikkonen. But yeah, it ended up not being anything, which I was like, good, because then like either do it to both passes or none. But,
yeah,
interesting. And then there was Haas on Haas crime between Esteban and Ollie. Esteban was trying to make a pass and he just got in the wet and just kind of lost it. But you cannot keep that man out of the side of his teammate. It just Esteban is just that guy.
It's beginning to get frustrating, in all honesty. I mean, it was frustrating about 7 years ago, but like, it's really getting old, Esteban, please.
And now it's a baby. Now it's a literal child that he's crashing into. Think of the children.
The 27-year-old could handle you. I'm not sure about the 19-year-old.
His frontal lobe, Ollie's frontal lobe is not yet fully formed. You got to protect his noggin.
Yeah, far out. Far out.
I have something to talk about with Ollie, but I'll save that for the post-race interviews.
Okay.
Oh god.
Yeah, so we get toward the end of the race. Lap 45, Lance put in the fastest lap. I took a lot of just Lance did this, Lance did that, of just I need people to see that he is not a bad driver. I'm not saying he's the best, but he's not bad.
Yeah.
Anyway, then we get to the end of the race. Oscar, he's just driving kind of upset, and then they're like, oh, he's driving angry, and I'm like, y'all are just plugging the F1 movie at this point. Just felt funny to me. And then there was a funny radio from Will Joseph to Lando where he just goes, his engineer goes, be careful out there, and Lando's like, well, tell me where, don't just say be careful. And I totally understand, because that's so ominous. Sometimes when I drive places and people are like, oh, drive safe, and I'm like, why?
Yeah.
Why? What's wrong?
Why?
I'll drive how I want, actually.
Yeah.
My response is always no. They say, oh, drive safe, message me when you get home, and I say, no.
Make me.
And I shut the door.
Yeah, no, and it'll happen to me in the winter, and I'm like, why? Is it snowing?
That feels like a threat. Be safe out there.
For us, it's the kangaroos. For us, it's the kangaroos.
I have heard they're the deer here.
Yeah, don't even. Don't even. We can talk about this off the recording. I have beef with kangaroos. Anyway, for me, as soon as someone says drive safe, I'm like, cool, now I have to watch for kangaroos. You've jinxed me.
Yeah. Literally.
Oh no. Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, let me get through a little bit of the end of race so we can get to the interviews. So I thought it was cute that Samson Idris was waving the checkered flag. I do like him as an actor.
I didn't even notice.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. JP from the F1 movie, for those of you who don't know who the actor is. But
he's a fine man.
Oh my god, he's beautiful. But more than a beautiful man, I want to talk about a beautiful thing. I want to talk about something that we all experienced. I want to talk about the fact that we were all on the podium that day, right next to Nico Hulkenberg. I'm going to make myself cry if I keep talking about it like that. But it was so beautiful. It was so beautiful. I felt like it happened to me too.
Did you see that bloke on TikTok who was pretending he was going to put on his resume? And he was
James whatever. Yeah, he's really funny.
So funny. Yeah. Made me cackle because we were all there.
But it was so full circle because K-Mag was in the steak garage.
Yeah.
Loved Max immediately. First one to congratulate him, Max was there, which this is the stuff that I love out of their little community. They might hate each other, but they are also best friends because they spend 100% basically the time with each other, regardless of what team they're on. They're all traveling together every weekend. So then we get a glimpse of a blur of green and blue jeans, which is Gabby Bortoletto running to celebrate with him. The whole steak garage was whoa! They were the joy. I couldn't contain their joy because they couldn't contain it. It was such a wonderful moment.
And Gabby's little radio to Nico.
Oh, yeah, because he was in the garage. Oh,
It's me. Okay, darling. All right.
We're all gonna cry about it.
Oh no, because Gabby's excitement did not deplete at all. He was excited on the radio. He ran to him when he parked the car, and then he called Nico's wife and daughter after the race, and then Nico was partying with the team or whatever, and he goes and hands him the phone.
Yeah.
I didn't know that part. I'm gonna cry.
He did that.
So nice.
Literally.
And I saw something as well. This was, I think, Hamilton's first time in however many years not finishing on the podium at Silverstone.
14.
And he finished P4. And when I first saw it, I was like, oh, dang, that sucks. And then I was like, he probably could have caught Nico. He probably could have. And then I thought to myself, but did he want to just let him have it? Because I would think that, not let him have it per se, but was he I'm just going to cruise here. I'm not going to attack. I'm gonna, keep my pace. Like, Nico can have this one. Like, first podium is better than a 14-year streak.
Yeah. But also, like, P4 is such a good result for Ferrari in this day and age.
Oh,
listen, I don't want to talk about the results. I haven't even really looked at the rest of the field. I'm focusing on the fact that we all won when Nico got his podium, and then I'm not looking at anything else. I have yet to update that one spreadsheet I have. I'm not looking at that. I don't need to know where Phelps finished, actually.
We, like, genuinely need to talk about, like, the really cute little aspects of Nico's first podium. Because, first and foremost, he went down to the cool-down room for the first time. And he didn't know it. Helmet.
So cute. But then it was so cute because Lando brought it for him. And he was like, oh, I didn't know. And Lando was like, oh, it's all good, brother. Basically, like, he was like, oh, don't worry about it. And, like, set it up for him and everything. And well, speaking of Lando, quickly, just a sidebar. I thought it was really cute on the radio when Lando was like, we did it at home. In my head, it was like the SpongeBob episode where they open the Krusty Krab at night. And he goes, blah, 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 blah. At night. It felt like that to me. So, but I thought it was cute. Like,
too. He was like, he won, baby, ... at home.
Yeah.
He was doing.
Yeah, no, very, very funny. If it was a SpongeBob reference, I absolutely understood it.
You know what? It genuinely could be.
I would be surprised.
Lando, please confirm or deny. Come on the podcast and confirm or deny.
On the top of champagne, Aston and Mercedes buying steak champagne.
Because they didn't have any to celebrate. Oh, good God. Put me out of my misery.
And like
I need a group hug.
But then everyone on TikTok being like, wait, why did Aston have champagne? Real.
Because they just celebrate that they've actually finished the race.
Yeah. They just drinking.
Yeah, no, it was so cute. And honestly, it was so cute that I think Jensen Button, I think it was so cute that Jensen Button was the one doing the interviews, because it wasn't like no offense to Terry Crews, but it wasn't like one of the ones where he does the interviews or like someone we don't really know as well or something. Like, it was someone who has raced in the same vicinity.
He would have raced with Nico, wouldn't he?
I think so.
In his time?
Yeah.
I think so. So I thought that was really, really sweet. His interview was so wholesome. He looked, and I have this in my notes, he looked young again. Like, sometimes I feel like he looks a little older, because he is in his mid-late 30s, right? But
like 37.
And like, he looks like it. Like, he looks his age. That's not a bad thing. But like, he looked like the pictures that you see of him as a kid in the feeder series. He looked young, and it made me so happy. I'm never coming down from this high. Except for immediately after Mika's interview was Oscar's interview. And this one was and this is why I think we are all saying that this is Oscar's turn to be Mad Max. Because he's getting asked these really hard questions immediately after a race when his adrenaline is high and he's been driving. It's not like it's had a chance to come down, because you're both angry and you're driving. Like, everything's going dialed to 100. Yeah. And then he literally says, like, I'm not going to say much, I'll get myself in trouble, which is basically saying everything you want to say anyway. It's just, like, not offending MBS. And then after the second question, he was like, okay, like, said an answer, said, I'm not going to say anything, and then just walked away. Yeah. And, like, I kind of felt bad for Jensen, but he's got to know. But he saw himself out.
I was like, I'm not talking about it. And then you were like, but what's your thoughts? And I'm like, okay, fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No. So.
Yeah. It was kind of, I don't know, everyone's like,
I'm all for it.
Has their opinions. I really enjoyed it. When Oscar said that, I was like, oh, okay. I was like, nice. Yeah. Oh, and then his little angry face on the podium. I was like, oh
my gosh,
he is coming back hard.
But in my head, I was like, you all better squash it right now. It's Nico's podium. Yeah. And this actually did make me upset. Nico Hulkenberg was dry on the podium.
They were so rude.
So I saw a video. Someone, like, I think it was actually maybe Podium Sundays, like, analysed it.
Love Podium Sundays.
Yeah, essentially. So when the music started, Oscar started spraying the McLaren team personnel, I believe. Lando beelined for the edge because the podium in Silverstone is very narrow, and he wanted to do his champagne pop. So he beelined for the off the step. And so he moved to the side, and then he champagne popped on the flat ground because obviously the trophies as well. So champagne popped on the flat ground.
He learned his lesson, that's for sure.
Yeah, next to where Oscar was standing. And then because Oscar and the McLaren team were just there, I think he just started spraying them. Why did Oscar not spray Nico? This has happened to Oscar, okay? This happened for his first win. This happened in Hungary. Lando didn't spray him. Everyone still talks about it, including me. I'm not over it. So he knows how it feels to not be sprayed when you get your first, when you get your maiden something. I am disappointed in him.
It made me sad. I was mad. I was mad that not everyone... You guys have had enough wins and podiums. Give something.
Literally hogging them.
Yeah.
Genuinely.
Yeah. In my opinion, everybody should have been absolutely making sure Nico was soaked. More champagne than man at that point.
I wish that he was actually on the podium with Max and
Max
either Sean or George.
They would have made sure.
Would have drowned him the same way.
Wait, why am I so mad? I don't even know these people.
No, literally, because if you look at Max and George on the podium with Kimi, that's what they would have done to Nico.
100%.
I'm sad. I need to sit down. I was about to say.
Yourself in the corner.
Okay. It makes me mad.
Do you know what else makes me really mad about this being Nico's maiden podium? This is so controversial. The freaking Lego trophies. Disrespectful. I don't care what anyone says. That is so disrespectful.
But they were all Lego. The only reason I saw something about it where the only reason Lando had the real one is because that's the one that they get for the celebration, but then that one goes into holding. So he took home the Lego one too. But it just sucks that it's not metal.
Yeah.
I get you're doing a partnership, but
I actually really like them. When they unboxed them before the race, I was like, oh, slay, I love that. I'm sorry, but everyone loved the fucking Lego cars when they were on track, and now you don't like the trophies? Fuck out.
It's so different. Well, my exact problem with them happened directly after the podium. The McLaren Constructors one got dropped and shattered.
They didn't super glue the pieces?
Why would they not super glue it?
No, literally.
I don't know, but it shattered.
My excitement. Practically, that's stupid. They should have glued them together.
No, because it genuinely was shattered by the time he got down the stairs.
We also need to talk about Lando's injury.
Okay, I haven't heard about this.
Yes.
So if you wouldn't have seen it not on TikTok, and it was all on TikTok. So it was after the podium. They were down. I don't even know where they were, but there was this photographer up on the barricade.
Oh my gosh! Wait, I did see this.
This mesh, I don't know.
Yeah, taking photos of the crowd over the fence. Yes.
And then he was I think he went to get down, and he put his hand on the top of the beam of the mesh thing, and it
hold him.
Dropped, and so he fell backwards, and Lando smashed his eye socket with the medal trophy, and just it's a big scratch. He was really sweet. In the post race interview, everyone was I think it was Natalie Pinkham was oh, what'd you do to your face? And he just said, oh, it was just I just hit the trophy, someone bumped into me. There was no bad blood. He understood it was an accident. You could see the terror in that photographer's face. He was
when he realized who it was he bumped into, oh my god.
Lando
my heart would be in my ass.
He's going to win next weekend, the next weekend, because he same injury before Miami and won.
Mm-hmm.
He knows he'll win. It's fine. I found the video.
No! Oh my gosh! These freaking numpties, as they say.
Literally just off the podium. Lando's just walking.
Gotta super glue that stuff.
Yeah, that's pretty poor form if they didn't super glue that.
That's crazy.
Or maybe they did super glue it and it actually snapped.
Yeah.
Maybe. I'd hope for that. I would
We'll never
assume
know.
that.
Yeah.
Hope so, at least. But, Brett, you were going to say something about the post-race interviews with Ollie.
Oh, yeah. So it must be this thing in Britain. It must be this old TV show. There's this big fat pig.
Oh,
Percy.
It's
Is it a
the
little
brother of
Ollie?
Peppa Pig, no?
No.
No.
That's George.
Oh.
Jinx. No, Percy. I don't know who he is. I don't know if it's a TV show. Liv said he's a piece of lolly thing. I don't know. Anyway, he was in the Silverstone paddock, and Ollie was like, "Oh, Percy," and like ran up to him and like all excited and like got pictures and got a hug and everything. That's him. Okay, it is a lolly. And and then Ollie was giving his post-race interview in the media pen, and Percy was standing next to him. He was just like lurking in the background as Ollie gave his post-race interview.
That's so funny.
Let me try to find it.
And he's got like the dictaphone and everything, and he's like, Percy gets a little bit in the way, but like as long as the dictaphone's in the right spot, it's fine.
That's so funny.
Oh, I loved it.
That's so good.
Well, though, because I fear that the F3 race in Silverstone, the feature race, absolutely killer. I think the F3 feature race really taught all the
Send me those. I want to see them close up.
I fear it taught like the entire F2 grid and majority of the F1 grid not to muck around with slicks when the track is even slightly wet.
Yeah.
Because the track was like a little bit wet, but it wasn't really raining. It started to like sprinkle as lights went out, sort of thing. But just before the start, half the grid, like the rear of the grid and then a few front runners changed to wet tires while the rest were on slicks.
Oh.
By the first lap, I'll use Roman Belinsky as my example. By lap 4, he had gone from P23 to P4, while Nicola Sola, who started pole, was already back in like P17.
Oh my goodness.
Instantly, like, it was like, was it Canada last year where K-Mag stayed on slicks in the wet? Like, massive advantage for a while.
It was, I think he went to full wets.
Yeah, it was something insane.
Something crazy.
But it was the same sort of thing. And I fear that's why nobody, bar Charles Leclerc and George Russell, messed with the tire.
Yeah.
Quite entertaining.
Well, I think that, yeah, I mean, that's...
I think that just about does it.
Just about does it. This was, in fact, Australia 2.0. If Lando had have crashed, it would have exactly been Australia 2.0. Also down to the fact that a V-carb crashed first. So,
that's gracious.
But yeah.
Well, let's hope for a dry Spa.
Yeah. Doubt it.
Doubt it. But we can hope, because Spa in the rain stresses me out. It stresses me the fuck out.
Scary. Those rings that are like the traditional ones that are all sorts of bendy and turny.
Yeah. And high speed.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Stress.
Spa is stressful.
Raining though. Like, I don't get as stressed when it's dry.
Yeah.
But yeah. Let us know your thoughts on Silverstone. Comment any thoughts on the Oscar Piastri penalty, on Lando and Oscar not spraying Nico on the podium. Nico's win.
Yeah, you too could live rent-free in our brains.
Yeah. Send us any thoughts. And we'll see you for our Spa recap.
Yep.
All right. Bye.
Bye.